As you can see, you've got your usual selection of mages, stealth classes, rangers, all that kind of jazz. I'm going to put him as a Shadow Blade for this. In customization, you can change the voices, change the AIs. I'm not going to change the voices about too much. You can change the pictures as well up here if you want to change what they look like, picture-wise. It's quite tricky to make any that actually match what your character will look like, but you might have more success than me. Heads, let's go for the beard. No, just no. Go for the Sean Bean look. Leave his hair as default. I'm not quite sure about what much of these stats do. I think these are all unlock the further into the game you get, obviously when you start levelling up. I know for a fact these do from a previous attempt at a playthrough, which is kind of cool. And again, with the girl, same sort of stuff really. Obviously things change depending on what class you are. We can move these about a little bit. Just mess about. I'm going to go full kabuki on it for this one. Obviously just messing around. I want to do this for my proper serious playthrough, but for the sake of dicking around on this, why not? So I'm just going to accept and try and skip this since it's got music on it, which I don't want to get into trouble for playing, so skippage. Oh, wait, now an eternity while it loads, and then maybe we'd actually get to have a go. Just take a fair while to load. And here we go. Its handles and moves pretty much identical as you'd expect Baldur's Gate series to move, which is kind of nice for those of us who are old enough to actually remember Baldur's Gate. Do here is I'm just going to do the basic little entrance movie thing that there is. So start a dungeon so you get to see some of the basics.
If I didn't know there were orc ships raiding to the west, I'd mistake this for a placid beach.
At least the orcs make a bit of noise when they attack. It's dark-dealing sorcerers that'll strike with neither warning nor mercy.
As you can see, the UI down here is the standard UI that you'd expect from, I don't know, any number of MMO games you care to pick. Same with the map, and the piece here is similar to anything you would expect in the Baldur's Gate series. Pressing that, you can change your formations as and when you get more people. You can move the screen around as you'd expect with again the Baldur's Gate type series. Ooh. If you just hold the mouse button down and move it around, she'll run about. The further away from your character you put your cursor, the faster they move, so they'll go from walking to sprinting. You can interact with most objects that you find and pick them up as I'm demonstrating now. So you can pick up shells and stuff, and obviously as the game progresses you'll get equipment which will fill out all these sections here. And a brief idea of where your talents, traits and all that kind of malarkey will go. And of course you can just click to get them to move as well. I'm not going to do like I did in my other playthrough and pick up every single item I see, because you end up with like 11 million shells.
Is that a corpse? What's it doing here alone?
What? Did you expect it to have an entourage?
So you open your inventory, double click on the quest item. Basically it tells you that this douchebag decided it'd be a good idea to jump off the cliff thinking he could fly. Evidently it didn't work for him. So now these guys have got arrows, which means they can have a conversation between the two characters, which is quite nice. So essentially now you've got your teammate talking to you, which should be good. Let's have a look. Obviously you can go through this as a good or a bad guy, or kind of a bit of neutral. It will depend entirely on your own choices. Barrels can be opened, and you soon find out in the game, like I'm doing now, you can pick them up and stick them down. This will be used, no doubt, in the game for doing various things such as trapping enemies in, out, or setting up something that you can later detonate with various other spells, because from what I've heard, there's a lot of chances in this game for you to actually think a bit more outside the box. Like, say this water that I'm kind of stood on the edge of now, were there enemies in the water, and had I an electricity spell, I could electrify the water to increase damage. Little things like that, which should be quite fun to see as the game progresses.
Curses upon them, source hunters! Secure the stone! I'll deal with these rats.
Goddess be with you, master!
Sorry about that, just checking some settings.
Rise! Arise! Drawn forth from blood, I bid you aid me.
Oops, so it looks like our first bit of combat. As you can see up here, it will show you that the sequence which your characters will take turns, as this is a turn-based combat game. So essentially, the mage goes first, which is done, then we get to go, and then they'll have their turns again. So with this one, I'm going to plonk him there, and then attack this one from behind and get lucky like that. Basically this little box is saying that the higher your perception, the more objects you'll see on the ground, so the more loot you will get. So I'm going to make a point of upping that stat pretty damn quickly. Now it's my other character's turn, and she's just going to charge straight in to wherever she's got allowed to. So you have action points to spend, and they limit what you can do each turn. As it is now, I can't do anything, so I'm going to press this, which ends my turn. And then they get their turn to retaliate, which didn't work out too well for them. So I click this button again to end his turn, which then gives my other character a go. Moving her to here, and she's just going to that rip. Notice I'm not using any special abilities yet.
Their leader said something about escaping with a stone.
Stolen from this dungeon, I imagine. Can we get inside?
Because essentially this particular part, special abilities are not really needed, and this character's got a nice heal, which I'm saving for later on. So now we get the joys of trying to see if anything was dropped that might be of any use. And the short answer is not really, but there you go. It's only to be expected. So now we have to go in here, which is the little starter dungeon, to basically give you an idea of how the game works. Oh yeah, and it auto-saves as well, which is always handy. Most of these things that you can pick up, from what I remember in my previous playthrough, if it says it's empty, chances are it's not even worth you looking at. Because when I first came through, I looked at everything. A short version is chests. If you don't have a key for it, you can try smacking it open. Right, like that. And scrolls can be used to cast spells that you don't actually know. And I think they can be done from characters that can't normally cast certain spells. I'm sure there'll be some limitation to it, otherwise you'd get completely OP-ness happening, as you know. I'm sure people will find out to do. This little bit here introduces you into basically the fact that not only can you search objects, you can pick them up and stick them out of the way to get through to places. Like so.
Careful! There's a mine in the middle of our path.
Someone must have an interest in protecting whatever's kept here.
So what you can do here, you can either shoot it or you can pick something up and drop it on it. Like that. Notice how the fire burns. That will actually damage you if you stand in it. But it will dissipate, as you'll see now. There you go, it goes. Yes, you can pick up candles. And you can put them out as well if you so wish. Not quite sure why I wanted that skull, but apparently I did. Alright, so apparently there's a key nearby. If I remember on my last attempt at this, I didn't actually find the key. As you can see, I'm just randomly chucking shit about at the moment. Oh, and there's the key. Why didn't I think of that before? There we go, some golds. Off we go again. See what we see. Fail. Oh, what a wonderful dead end I found. Let's try that again.
I've always heard there's more to a king's tomb than meets the eye.
It could be a myth, or it could be our lucky day.
Yada yada. Find somebody, meet them up. Find the hidden cache. But as you can see, this is very similar to Baldur's Gate in the way that you actually manoeuvre things about. Sound effects are pretty damn good as well, pretty atmospheric. I'm not sure if that's coming through well or not on the speakers, but it's pretty damn good. Congratulations, you've run in a full circle.
Well, what's this I've spotted?
That'll be a button then.
We made short work of that door, but I don't imagine our weapons would survive such use for long.
True. Bashing through every entrance we find is bound to affect our gear's durability.
So if you can't be bothered to learn lockpicking, find keys, etc., you can smash your way through, but it is going to shaft your gear. Right, it says destroy a barrel. Does that mean I can't pick it up and do it this way? Rubbish. nice on it as well. What was that? Ooh, unlocked a recipe. Poisonous gas. Fire. Yeah, that worked. There we go. Oh, can't go for paddle. There we go with some more creative use of the scenery. Can of course be searching these objects rather than just plonking them all over the place like I'm doing, but like I say, I'm just showing you the basics because I don't want to ruin the game for you. Oops, picked up the chest, I meant to open it. Oh.
Shh! I think I hear voices downstairs.
The last thing we need is to surprise another angry summoner.
Yeah, it's not quite the box you'd get in Metal Gear Solid, but you know, it could be worse. Yoink. Well, yeah, that worked. Do this two ways. You can essentially get your characters to stand on it, or you can use that method that I've just shown you there, where you just chuck random stuff onto it. Well, that rat seems heavy-footed. Now I'm just picking up arrows and random stuff because the crafting system in this, I've got a funny feeling, is going to be quite good. Which I'll have to take a look at another time. For now, I'm just literally giving people a basic idea of how to get through. Right, so this is a section that requires you to go in two separate directions. It's easier done than you think. You hold the middle mouse button, you can rotate the camera a little bit in either direction, so it'll give you a better field of view. What they want you to do is you get onto one of your portraits and you pull it away. It's breaking the chain that was here. So you can get this character to go and stand there. And this character can then go and stand on that one. Opening the door for this one. Let's go through here. Bring them back together, and then you just move them close together again to reattach the chain. Exciting time for some more combat. It is then. Same as last time, it's to predetermine the order of who gets to go when. Now I am going to actually use some magic. I'm going to heal myself because I'm taking an absolute beating. Managed to miss it while stood right in front of it, because that makes perfect sense. Can't do much more, so turn over. It looks like you can carry action points over to your next turn, which is quite interesting. Now I'm going to stand here and try not to die. Seems that rogues have a great amount of difficulty in attacking something that's straight bloody in front of them. Let's try and box this guy in a bit. See if it's any better from behind. Barely. Got him. Try and stand out of line of sight, because I reckon line of sight will play quite a part in this game. The more movement you do, the less you can actually do when it comes to combat. So if you stand perfectly still, you'll be able to let rip. But if you move about a lot, you won't. And that's that. But now we have the real hard part of the game, as soon as any loot. I can see quite a few items I imagine would be
This seems to be broken.
lootable were you to have higher perception, because the graphics are quite detailed when it comes to this type of thing. So I'm seeing things that look like you pick them up, but obviously I can't because my perceptions are rubbish.
Here lies Master Rajiquin's first apprentice, killed by a falling corpse.
Probably the same clown that jumped off that bloody cliff. So that is the first little mini dungeon to give you a taste of what the game's like. It plays like Baldur's Gate in a good way, with modern graphics and some modern touches like being able to zoom in the camera and turn like I'm doing now. And I recommend this game fully. I'm not very far into it, but I can tell already that I'm going to really, really enjoy this game. So, yeah, guys, give it a go. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.